Have you ever wished for a superpower? Maybe the ability to fly, or perhaps something a little more profitable? Imagine if everything you touched turned to solid gold. Sounds like a dream, doesn't it? For one king, this dream became a glittering, golden nightmare. This is the story of King Midas and his legendary golden touch, a tale that warns us to be careful what we wish for because we just might get it. Once upon a time, in the ancient kingdom of Phrygia, there lived a king named Midas. He wasn't a bad king, but he was incredibly wealthy, and his greatest passion was gold. He loved the way it shimmered, the way it felt in his hands, the weight of it in his treasure vault. He spent hours, sometimes even days, just counting his coins, admiring his golden goblets, and running his fingers over his golden statues. For Midas, there was no such thing as too much gold. His vast fortune was his pride and joy, but it was also an obsession that consumed his every thought. One day, some of Midas's guards were patrolling the royal gardens when they stumbled upon a strange sight. There, passed out amongst the rose bushes, was a peculiar old man with goat-like features. This was no ordinary trespasser. It was Silenus, the beloved mentor and companion of Dionysus, the god of wine, celebration, and revelry. Instead of punishing him, King Midas recognized the old satyr. Knowing he was a friend of a powerful god, Midas welcomed Silenus into his palace. For 10 days and 10 nights, Midas treated him with the utmost hospitality, throwing lavish feasts and ensuring his every need was met. When Dionysus came looking for his lost friend, he was overjoyed to find Silenus safe and sound in the care of King Midas. In gratitude for the king's kindness, Dionysus offered to grant him any wish his heart desired. Midas's eyes lit up. This was his chance. He could have asked for wisdom, for a stronger kingdom, for a long and healthy life. But his mind was clouded by one singular desire. Without a moment's hesitation, he declared, "I wish that everything I touch turns to gold." Dionysus, knowing the folly of such a request, tried to caution the king, but Midas was adamant. With a sigh, the god granted the wish. The moment the god departed, Midas was ecstatic. He could hardly believe his luck. To test his new power, he reached out and touched a small oak twig. Instantly, it transformed into a shimmering branch of solid gold. He picked up a stone from the path. It became a golden nugget in his palm. He ran through his palace, laughing with glee, touching columns, chairs, and tables, watching in amazement as his entire world turned to a brilliant, glittering gold. He was the richest man in the world. His dream had finally come true. He ordered his servants to prepare a magnificent feast to celebrate his incredible new ability. But as the king sat down at his golden table on his golden throne, his joy began to fade. He reached for a loaf of crusty bread, but the moment his fingers brushed against it, it hardened into an inedible lump of gold. Thirsty, he raised a golden goblet of wine to his lips, but the liquid turned to molten gold the instant it touched them, scorching his mouth. A horrifying realization began to dawn on him. The very power he had coveted, the source of his ultimate joy, was now a terrible curse. He couldn't eat, he couldn't drink. Surrounded by unimaginable wealth, he was beginning to starve. The true horror of his situation struck him when his beloved daughter, hearing his cries of despair, ran to comfort him. She threw her arms around her father, and in that instant Midas's world shattered. His precious child, the one thing he loved more than gold, became a cold, lifeless golden statue. Heartbroken and utterly devastated, Midas looked upon the golden figure of his daughter and finally understood the catastrophic price of his greed. All the gold in the world meant nothing without the warmth of his daughter's embrace. He had traded everything that truly mattered for a cold, empty fortune. Desperate and filled with remorse, Midas prayed to Dionysus, begging the god to take back his dreadful gift. He confessed his foolishness and his greed, weeping over the golden statue of his daughter. Dionysus, taking pity on the wretched king, heard his plea. He instructed Midas to travel to the River Pactolus and wash his hands in its waters. Midas rushed to the river and plunged himself into the current. As he washed, he felt the curse flow out of him and into the water. To this day, it is said that the sands of the River Pactolus shimmer with gold, a remnant of the king's cursed touch. Freed from his golden prison, Midas hurried back to his palace. With a trembling hand, he touched the golden statue of his daughter. Miraculously, she returned to life, her warmth and laughter filling the cold, silent halls once more. Overjoyed, Midas hugged her tightly, forever grateful for this second chance. He had learned his lesson. From that day on, King Midas despised wealth and riches, having learned that the most valuable things in life, like love, family, and a simple meal, can't be bought or turned to gold. But Midas's troubles with the gods weren't quite over. Having developed a newfound appreciation for the simple things, he became a devoted follower of Pan, the god of the wild and rustic music played on pipes. One day, Pan grew bold enough to challenge Apollo, the mighty god of music and the lyre, to a contest. The mountain god Tmolus was chosen as the judge. Apollo played his lyre with such skill and beauty that the very mountains seemed to listen. Pan then played his simple pipes, a cheerful but crude melody. Tmolus immediately declared Apollo the winner. Everyone agreed with the judgment, except for one person. King Midas, loyal to his chosen deity, foolishly disputed the verdict, claiming Pan's music was superior. Apollo, insulted that a mere mortal with such poor taste would question his divine talent, decided to teach Midas a lesson. "A man with such ears," the god declared, "should not have human ears at all." With a touch, Apollo transformed Midas's ears into the long, furry ears of a donkey. Mortified and deeply ashamed, Midas tried to hide his donkey ears from everyone, constantly wearing a large turban or cap. The only person who knew his secret was his royal barber, who was sworn to secrecy under penalty of death. But the secret was too big to keep. The barber was bursting to tell someone, anyone. Unable to bear it any longer, he went out to a meadow, dug a hole in the ground, and whispered into it, "King Midas has donkey's ears." He then filled the hole, relieved to have gotten the secret off his chest. But secrets have a way of coming out. A bed of reeds grew from that very spot, and whenever the wind blew through them, they would whisper to all who passed by, "King Midas has donkey's ears. King Midas has donkey's ears." The king's shame was revealed to the entire kingdom. The myth of King Midas is more than just a fairy tale about a greedy king. It's a profound story with timeless lessons. The golden touch is a powerful metaphor for greed. It shows us that an obsessive pursuit of wealth can isolate us and rob us of life's simple, true pleasures like food, friendship, and family. It teaches that true wealth isn't measured in gold but in love and human connection. The second part of the story, with the donkey ears, is a lesson about humility and judgment. Midas, having learned his lesson about material greed, still falls victim to his own poor judgment and arrogance by challenging the opinion of a god. It's a warning against pretending to know more than we do, and a reminder to respect true expertise and wisdom. The whispering reeds symbolize the impossibility of keeping secrets and the inevitable exposure of truth and folly. Together, these tales paint a picture of human weakness, Whether it's the love of money or the arrogance of opinion, the myth of Midas serves as a timeless cautionary tale, reminding us to value what truly matters and to approach the world with a sense of humility. It urges us to find the right balance in life and to appreciate the simple gifts that surround us every day. Thank you so much for watching. What do you think is the most important lesson from Midas's story? Let me know in the comments below. If you enjoyed this journey into Greek mythology, don't forget to like, share, and subscribe for more tales from the ancient world. See you next time.